It does.
Yes.
Okay, with that, it's 10:34 and there are more people here than there were at 10:30. So let's get to it. Welcome to the koha-US October General Meeting. I've got two announcements to make. First, if you haven't filled out the conference feedback form yet, we would love to have you fill out the conference feedback form. I don't know why that got stuck in my mouth. Well, probably because I was trying to copy the URL while I was talking. There's the URL. Please fill out the conference feedback form. My other announcement is a thanks to George and Jason and Christopher. Hello, Jason, you get all of these thanks. For helping the AspenCon folks set up video streaming for AspenCon. We're going to help them out, lend them the use of our YouTube channel for that. And, you know, happy to help out the community. We've got enough big crossover between us all. Yeah. So, as you watch your Aspen videos, you can feel smug that you as a koha-US member have helped supply that video streaming. I would tell you the dates of AspenCon, but I don't have them in front of me, and I do not remember them. But somebody does. Soon,
Next
right?
week.
Next week. Thank you. Couldn't remember if it was next week or the week. Anyway. That brings us to new business. First up, voting for the development committee just closed yesterday. So if you didn't vote in that, you have missed your chance. But we should have results for you soonish. I saw Chip unmuted himself.
Yeah, we have a winner. And with it was the top vote getter by far. The number 2 was less than half the votes. The Marc modification templates received 26 votes, and so it looks like we'll finish the job from last year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wonderful. From an administrative standpoint, I applaud the tidiest choice. Close,
Yeah.
high up that loose end. Great. Well, we'll discuss that in our next development committee meeting and get that moving forward.
Okay.
Speaking of elections, other point of new business is that we are currently accepting nominations for the upcoming board elections. We are looking for nominations for a secretary, a vice president, and a member at large unsupported. The bylaws, which I'll pop a link to here. The bylaws really go into a lot of detail about what each of those roles does. If you are curious, generally the secretary prepares agendas and meeting minutes, and I don't know why I'm describing what the secretary does when Christy is here and probably could give a better précis of it all.
Yeah, so I make sure the agendas get emailed out and that meeting reminders go out, that minutes are recorded for the general and board meeting. I post the video for the general meeting every month. So those are basically the things, other duties as assigned, you know. If anyone has any questions about it or is interested and just wants to talk about the role, feel free to reach out to me either at the secretary at koha-us.org or on Mattermost. Happy to talk.
Thanks, Christy. The vice president spends a year running the development committee, being on the board, being generally helpful to the president, and then ascends to presidency the next year. And as the president, your primary responsibility is running in these meetings and preparing the conference, chairing the conference planning committee. Chip, do you have any other deep thoughts on being a vice president?
No deep thoughts. Yeah, the, the hard work starts January. So
Yeah, honestly, that was kind of my experience. The vice president year is a year to watch what goes on and
right,
figure out what you're going to have to do the next year.
right. I've been absorbing all year. So
And Fred, do you have any wise words on what it means to be a member at large unsupported? Not that
Well, hmm?
not that there's anybody else on the Zoom right now who I think is really eligible for that position.
Yes. But yes, I do think unsupported koha users do need a voice. Um, when I was thinking of what I do, which is not much, but I have been involved with helping some other unsupported libraries. Right now, working with someone in Germany, in Berlin, who has an enormous spreadsheet. Actually, Lauren is doing most of the help because I've had too much life happening, but I have contributed a few things. So another person said I'm the go-to guy for unsupported koha advice, which is both frightening and flattering.
It is terrifying when we live long enough to become experts in something.
I know. I just answered a copyright question earlier today.
Oh no.
And my publications are public domain. Yes. The editor of the journal should have known better.
Beyond those specific duties, all of these roles serve on the board and generally, are expected to attend and contribute to board meetings in non-specific ways. Really, we would love for you to show up and have a voice and have opinions about what koha-US should be and do. So yeah, we accept self-nominations, we accept nominations of others. It's probably polite to ask them if they want to be nominated. But you don't gotta. No rule against it. But yeah, please search your soul and decide if you feel like you have time in your life to be a koha-US officer. Or one other. Oh, Chip's putting dev vote stuff in the chat. Hooray. Our one other item of new business is the just standing item of update on the Koha Charitable Foundation from George, but George is not here. I don't know that they've met since our last meeting.
Yeah, so George and I went to the WolfCon last week, and it sounds like they're still having trouble getting together, so I don't think there's any major updates. But I can tell you about WolfCon since that's tangentially related.
Yeah, let's do.
George and I presented on Koha Youth in Kansas, and then there was a talk from Chris Cormack, which was phenomenal, and hopefully when that recording gets out, we'll be able to share that out with everybody. The reception wasn't huge. We had like one person in the room for the whole of our talk, and then somebody else came in towards the end, and one person in the Zoom room. So it was, I won't say anything negative, but it was definitely a folio con for the most part. But it was nice there were some good plenary talks too, like keynote type things that talked about more general open source stuff. So hopefully we can share that out too. But it was definitely an interesting experience because there were lots of different library software open source communities represented, and it definitely had a different sort of left a different taste in my mouth than the Koha community does, and I definitely like the flavor that Koha has better than some of those projects. So, but yeah, it was interesting to sort of interact with that.
Cool. That's a good preview of the larger community that Koha is seeking to join. I think everybody who's in this meeting has been in plenty of previous general meetings where this has been discussed. But please correct me if I'm getting any of these details wrong. WolfCon is the conference for the Open Library Foundation generally, which includes a bunch of different open source library software initiatives. And so this is sort of the place for them to all come together and communicate with each other. This would not in any way replace KohaCon or the koha-US conference, but it would be sort of another venue where Koha and Koha-related things would be discussed.
And if you're interested, next year it will be in Prague. So if you need an excuse to go to Prague, there you go.
Out of curiosity, is anybody here headed to New Zealand for KohaCon? Well, good on you. Enjoy your flight. That's my big hesitation. Like, it would be cool to go to New Zealand, but it would not be cool to get to New Zealand. Well, with that, we've run out of new business, which moves us into bugs, issues, etc., which kind of expected might be an active part of this meeting, given that many of you just upgraded to 2505. And upgrades do tend to engender discussion of bugs, issues, etc. But yeah, basically, we're at open time now. Does anybody have things they would like to talk about to the group?
I just want to just say that this one was way easier on staff than the last one.
I've been frustrated by the sheer volume of tiny display bugs, like the number of things that stopped sorting properly, but at least they're easy to fix. I'm finding the bug roundup page that Laura at Bywater has been maintaining for this upgrade, because she's been doing a nice job of sort of pulling these all together.
Speaking of that, does anybody have any issues with multiple, lots and lots of columns showing up and you can't scroll across the bottom? Mine doesn't have even the scroll bar at the bottom, so I'm having to go and click columns and get rid of columns in order to make it fit on my screen. I can't even scroll over with the pan slide.
You mean like you can't scroll left to right?
Nope.
Is that in a particular screen or in a bunch of screens?
Like yesterday it was in a checkout and it pulled up everything that you can imagine about all the columns that would potentially be there. And I could not see to renew, the renew buttons, the renew boxes are over on the far right. So it was hidden off screen and there was no slide at the bottom for me to be able to slide it over to select the items the patron wanted renewed.
I don't
So
care for that at
that's
all.
an example.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if anybody else is having that or not.
Is this related to the scrolling issue that some people are having, or is that a separate? I don't know if you've also had that.
You're talking about the skipping where
Yeah.
I think they fixed that or at
Okay.
least I haven't seen the up and down, the up and down scrolling has smoothed out quite a bit. And I haven't noticed it starting that back up because I think there was a patch that was put through or something to help fix that. But this has been since the update and it's going left and right, panning the screen as opposed to whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not consistent. I can pan on some, like if I'm in a report that has too many columns, which I tend to put lots of columns in my reports. I can pan most of the time and all of that, if I remember correctly. But it was the frustrating one yesterday was when I was trying to renew and could not get over to that column without deleting columns to make it fit on the screen.
Yeah, I don't think I have seen someone else with exactly that issue. Jason's probably on the right track for part of it with the bug he put in the chat about column configuration getting lost. That would explain more columns popping up, but yeah, a failure to scroll left and right. It sounds like something else. I will say I've heard that generally, for whatever, I don't have a good reason for this, but 2505 has been a lot pickier about browser versions. We've had a lot of people who had profound issues that were fixed by upgrading their browser, like not being able to renew items and things, like buttons just not working.
We're really excited about the purchase suggestions are loading way faster, but we've noticed that you can't use the little search box on the data table to search consistently. Like sometimes it'll show results and sometimes it'll just say there's no results and you know that there should be in there. I can't remember if I found a bug about that or if anybody else is.
We've had a similar bug with the acquisitions, looking for baskets. I wonder, possibly related. If it's anything that's not on the screen currently, it just won't appear in the filter for us. I guess I haven't checked with the suggestions.
Well, like if you search, I was searching for one of my staff members, and if you search just for like their first name, their suggestions show up. But if you search for last name, comma, first name, like it shows, then no suggestions at all.
Oh,
I'm
don't
gonna
use
try.
the comma. Leave
Don't use the comma.
Yeah,
It still doesn't get anything.
okay.
I'm gonna try. Have you actually found suggestions to be faster? Because we found that when we were testing it, but in production, our suggestions are still very slow.
It's not as fast as it was on our test server, but it's way faster than it was before because it was taking almost a minute and a half to load our tables, and now it's 20 seconds, which feels slow, but comparatively not.
Yeah.
In the chat, those are the two that I'm seeing right now. Those are I believe.
I am seeing the same issue as you. I'm just testing it now that it will listen. If you put a space in there, it seems to be breaking it. Now I'm kind of wondering if it's the space. No, but yeah, that we're having the same issue with the names. If I put in last name, first name, or last name, comma, first name, it is not working.
That sounds like, yeah, we've got some some filtering issues on tables that have changed to API tables, and that those sound fixable. Not like I wish I could wave my magic wand and fix them for you now.
How many suggestions do most people have, just out of curiosity? How many are we managing at a time?
What's the time frame? Like,
Well, we get rid of ours after 3 months because of the slowness issue. And right now we're sporting about 300 suggestions, I'd say. Kind of varies.
We're much lower than that.
I think we get
Like- Get maybe two a week.
Oh, geez.
We've got about 400.
Most of ours have been deleted since from before June, and we have 2,500. Mostly just our library.
wait, 2,500?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry. That sounds rough.
We limit ours. The patrons can only do, I think it's 3 a year for us.
We
So,
allow 50 per year.
Yeah.
And a lot of people use all 50.
We do one a month.
Yeah, we tell people we aren't their Amazon.com.
We're thinking of metering it to a few a day. The rolling nature of the time period makes it kind of challenging to communicate. But what happens for us is we get it in bursts, like a homeschool group will get a book list of some kind, and then they'll put in like 30 in a day, and then we won't hear from them for months. And that can be kind of a challenge. See, for us, I might have to put in a ticket because, we only have a few hundred suggestions and the tables load quickly enough, but actually loading a suggestion is still taking a fairly long time. But other people are seeing a big improvement, right? I might have to put in a ticket.
Then do y'all get like when somebody does a purchase suggestion with us, we get an email. I really rarely go into the system. I get the email, and that lists everything I need to know to then go look for a book. So I don't really go into purchase suggestions because it's also automated. Well, except to say we've accepted it or rejected it.
Yeah, that's what we mostly do is go into. We also use it to direct it to certain staff people. We'll like have a category for different staff people to review.
I want to jump back to Rhonda's question and screenshot in the chat. I don't believe that weird addition of item number is due to bug 39930.
It's random. To find that example, I pulled up like 5 different ones before I came across it, but it does show up and it's weird. And I don't know.
I'm kind of inclined to blame some rogue jQuery, or at least go like pick through your jQuery and see if there's something there that could be doing that. Just because that seems strange. I've not seen item numbers randomly showing up in the holdings table for other people.
Okay. All right. So maybe we do need to go through our jQuery.
Yeah. Charlie linked a couple bugs. Item field length and leading spaces in patron attributes. Looks like those need sign off. I've been spending a lot of time this week putting on my Bywater hat, recording demo videos for folks on bugs like this that have patches that need sign off so that I can get sign offs from y'all, from librarians, so that then Bywater people can QA these bugs. If you see me pop into a ticket and send you a demo video, I would love to get a response that says, yes, you can sign off on this for me.
Sorry, where are you going to post this video? I'd like to do that.
I'll probably find you in a ticket. We Bywater are talking about for the next upgrade, figuring out a good place to put those videos somewhere public to say, to sort of make that sign off process easier. It's been a little more haphazard this time.
Has anyone noticed an improvement with the Elasticsearch exact title match?
Jason just posted a bug that says it needs to boost more.
Okay.
Yeah, we tried it out and it's not doing anything for us.
Agreed. I have to say, I know that there's been a lot of work put into Elasticsearch, but it is currently, from a usability perspective, not as good as Zebra. At least from an end user usability perspective.
That makes sense. Just in the Zebra was very much coded for Marc specifically, and Elastic is a bigger, more what's the word, flexible tool that Koha is trying to apply in a very specific way. And you know, a weird way, because it's Marc data, and Marc data is weird. But I know that that is a thing the community is working toward, and we appreciate your feedback on how it can get better. This is where it's like I'm trying to be the koha-US president and not a guy who works for the support company that most of you contract with to make the things work.
Speaking as someone who doesn't, excuse me. Is there any chance that someone who never goes outdoors and just loves to sit in the basement coding would do a sort of hybrid of Zebra and Elasticsearch designed for Marc? A major undertaking with someone with far too much time on their hands.
I think that last part is the thing that will be difficult. The person who has that much time on their hands. Sooner or later, someone will emerge from a cave saying, I've been doing this in my basement for 10 years, and it's perfect and beautiful. But there's no telling when that will happen.
And it runs on DOS 5.
Fun fact, I used to support a register system. The McDonald's register system used to run on DOS, free DOS. It might still, I don't know. This was a long time ago, but
Yeah.
A basic knowledge of DOS comes in really handy when you're working with the Ubuntu command line. Kids these days just don't know how to do that.
DOS is very fast for a single-threaded application. Fun fact.
I used to know how to use DOS to start Jazz Jackrabbit, but it was a long time ago. Well, folks, do you have other
I have a
Koha questions?
I have a question I said I was going to ask at the meeting. Has anybody noticed slowness when checking in? I'm not sure if this is this version specific, but I've adjusted the table to show fewer items. But if you check in for an extended, I don't even want to say an extended period of time, half an hour, that page starts to get very, very slow. And I'm wondering if anybody else has seen the same thing.
Is it RFID pad or scanner?
RFID.
RFID. We are having that issue, but it's been a while since we've had this issue, and they're working on it right now, but we've seen that at our branches, at our the outlying branches. The main branch is okay. Sometimes we see it, but the main issue is with like everybody else.
We actually have a similar pattern, but I have a feeling that's more about the traffic flow than it is about the. We just get interrupted a lot more at our main branch.
Oh, ours is check in and check out with the pads.
Okay. I guess I hadn't considered the RFID end of that. That's an interesting.
Yeah, we did testing on hardware and software, and we found that it's not the hardware. So I'm not sure if you're like so did it just start now, or was it like something
I have a feeling it has been going at least for a few months, but it's hard to say. With any problem like this that's not possible necessarily to reproduce easily, it's hard to say, but I think for a couple of months. I hadn't considered the RFID end, but it's the browser window that gets very, very slow once it hits again, and I don't know because we actually did reduce the number of items in that table, and it still seems to get slow after about 30 or 40 items. So I'm not sure how that table even loads, but it's good to know at least one other person has seen it.
Yeah, hopefully that table is not loading all of the recent checkouts and then only showing you some of them. That would be not ideal, but does kind of sound like that could theoretically be what's going
It
on.
did. I haven't actually dug in yet, but I
Yeah.
have a feeling tomorrow I'm going to get my teeth into that.
Well, thank you for chewing on it.
What was that last thing you suggested, Andrew? If it's not.
Oh, so there's a system preference to limit the number of checkouts it'll show in that like table of the things you've been, or not checkouts, but check-ins, like that table of things you've been checking in. And the idea is that if you only show like the last 20 things on that table, it's loading less data on each check-in. But it does seem like if it still gets slow as you do a whole bunch, like maybe it is actually thinking about all of those past check-ins, but only showing you the most recent ones, which would not really accomplish the goal of limiting how much data is being loaded, how much traffic you're taking up.
Is it the one that I just put in the chat, or are you talking about a different one? I mean, we don't have to answer this now, but I just wondered if it was this one that I pasted.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
I remember it being hard to find because it doesn't actually have the term check-in in it. Let me find it here.
While Ben is looking for that, David mentioned relevant to searching Talpa search. That's the library thing, fancy search engine, if I remember correctly.
Yes, you're on it. Yeah, that's right.
I was having a conversation last week with somebody from Open Fifth about natural language searching, and they have libraries asking them if Koha can do natural language searching. And that was not a thing I'd heard anybody around here express interest in. The ability to go to the Koha OPAC and say, hey, I'd like the new book by Stephen King, rather than typing Stephen King and sorting by new.
Sounds like a good idea.
I'm interested to hear your feedback because from my perspective, I just don't get it. I don't want to talk to a computer like that. I didn't like Ask Jeeves.
That's
You
hilarious.
didn't like Jeeves?
What a throwback.
I love Jeeves, like Jeeves and Booster, but Ask Jeeves the search engine didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to type more words.
I just like the idea of having my own butler.
I find that I am a bad person to judge what other people I agree with you, Andrew, but I'm increasingly clear that I'm an old man and kind of grumpy. So
very much with you on that. All these kids on my lawn these days with their natural language searching and their hula hoops.
You have a lawn?
Oh, we're in the Midwest. Lawns are cheap.
Yeah, I hear you have great lawns out there. California is not big on that, or well, my neighborhood is it?
Yeah, but you can have some magnificent rock gardens with a few cacti here and there.
We do have a bunch of succulents.
See, I'm jealous of your lack of mowing.
It'd have to rain first.
Num returned items to show. Yeah, what Ben put in the chat. Does feel like someday Koha could stand to rip off the band-aid of like renaming a bunch of system preferences. But I do understand the great hesitation to do so.
Yeah, but I posted in the Bywater Partners Slack channel. It has, the reports of this have picked up since the 2505 upgrade, but we have staff saying they keep getting redirected to the login page when they try to log in. And like, eventually they will get logged in, but at least for me, I got an error to log in 6 times this morning before I could log in. So I know there were some people who had chimed in to say that they had seen similar, and I was just kind of getting more, if anyone knows more, if anyone's got more info on the issue.
Is that like the CSRF errors with the 403, or is it?
It's not showing as a CSRF. Either it'll redirect you back to the login page to hit the button again, or it will give you error timed out. But it doesn't say anything about CSRF.
And you're using SSO.
Yes.
We haven't run into that, but we're not using SSO. I imagine people would be complaining if that was happening to them a lot here.
Don't know. I do have a ticket open, but I don't know if anyone was like, oh, it's this, or reconfigure this. Doesn't sound like it so far.
From the Bywater end, I've been in none of those conversations. I have seen them from afar, and they look tricky. Like, it seems very sporadic, and I've seen no rhyme or reason to when it happens or who it's happening to. But I've not been on it. Other people than me understand how a single sign-on works.
Is this happening to anyone else?
It was my impression that we had a couple libraries having this issue, but again, this is very tangential, like Slack eavesdropping on my part. I'm going to share Elizabeth's excitement that being able to change indicators will be fun. Well, and to use indicators generally, yeah. Make Marc modification even cooler. That doesn't sound very cool as I say it, though.
Yeah, but I made my family listen to me rattle on about indicators and Marc last night because I was in a cataloging mode.
They all learned and grew. You expanded their horizons.
These things happen.
So we'll have a party at the cataloger SIG session.
Well, y'all, I'm slow rolling us toward ending the meeting because it seems like we've talked about the things that the people have to talk about. Oh,
Just tossed one in there. This is something I'd really love to see. It's adding the last seen date to the brief patron info. And it looks like it's getting close, but there's some discussion between the developers kind of trailed off.
Oh, I misunderstood what you meant by last seen, but I just totally miscomprehended the bug. Yeah, that's funny that we don't show that, because that does seem helpful to know when you last saw the borrower.
We did a database set of patron records, and so nearly 3/4 of our patrons now have the same date as their last activity date. So, or last active. Anyway, Celestine would be helpful. It's kind of thrown out there, throwing it out.
It is still set to need sign off, so I see that Katrin had a couple of suggestions in her last comment, but she's not like blocking it from moving forward. I think if somebody were to sign off on it, it could still get QA'd and go ahead, and maybe they would fold Katrin's suggestions in, maybe not.
Yeah.
I do have one last question. Sorry, if you keep me here long enough, I'll keep asking questions, so I'll stop after this. When you're running SQL reports, at the very top, it's like it sometimes gives you the option to do batch operations, like batch patron modification, stuff like that. I've noticed recently, since the last update, that my reports that had that option available are no longer showing that, and they now show me this card number doesn't exist. But then when I go into the card number, it's there, like everything is there, like all the card numbers do exist, the accounts exist, but that batch operation is just giving me, and it doesn't matter like how big or small, it'll only tell me we cannot find this card number, for example. Has anyone ever seen that, or is anyone seeing that? I wonder if I just need to do something about the SQL then.
Is it happening on all of your reports that have patron data in them?
Yes, with the patron, so I use one called the patron birthday report. So it just tells me everybody whose birthday is in October or the month, for example. And when I try and do a batch of like 100 patrons, just say happy birthday or send them a message or whatever option that's there, it says that they're not found. I could show you an example, but I feel like I would drag this meeting on longer than, I just wanted to know if anybody else was experiencing it.
It also seems like a difficult report to show without putting patron data in a public recording.
Yes.
I have not seen that, but that sounds pretty buggy.
Is your column borrower number or card number? I don't even know if the batch operation works on card number.
Let me...
I think it does both now.
Does it? Okay.
My memory is it was originally only card number, and then in 2411 it learned to do borrower number as well.
Try swapping it out, I guess, would be the another option.
Yeah. Are you doing anything in that column? Oh yeah, that's what answers the question. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and you're just selecting card number straight up. You're not like changing its name or putting a weird value in there and calling it card number.
Right. That's all. And so part of this is also I'm changing the expiration date, and I don't want to see anybody whose expiration date is under 100 years or under 4 years, because we have most of our patrons at 100 years, and I'm slowly changing that.
Oh yeah, that's totally a bug, because
I just ran a report in ours, and I ended up with, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 barcodes that are doing exactly that. So,
I mean, not yay.
Um,
I'm not crazy.
I would say try just replacing card number with borrower number in your report.
Perfect.
See if that works better.
I have a card number in this report that I was running it, and it did the same thing.
Well,
you did use borrower number, Elizabeth?
No, I used card number, not borrower
okay.
number. So.
And so here, this is test data. This worked fine. So this is just give me borrower numbers from borrowers. That worked. We should still fix the card number thing.
So that's further than where I've gotten. Let me
Yeah. When I
change it to borrower number now. Oh my gosh, that would be so awesome if we just fixed it.
It's nice to give you a workaround. We should, fix Koha for real though. This seems like a fine time to mention that Bywater is always looking for early adopters for our upgrades. If you would like your Koha site to get upgraded before everybody else's, so you can help us find and identify these issues before they get to everybody. It is a little bit like being the penguin that gets pushed in first to find out if there are sea lions. But all of our sea lion hunters will be right there with you to help you fight the sea lions when you find them.
We used to be early adopters. I do miss the seeing everything first, but it'd have to be like a group decision, unfortunately. But it works. Borrower numbers works.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
That's really exciting.
It's nice to, nice to have a quick, easy workaround.
Yeah.
Great beginning of the day.
Okay, I'm doing my slow meeting closing bobbing again. I just do this very slowly, moving toward the leave button. But so last call for questions. I will say the conference planning committee meets at 11:30. We'll aim to, since this looks to be wrapping up a little early, we'll start that meeting on time over in the Zoom link off of the calendar. We often take a little break, but it seems like we're gonna get a little break. And with that, thank you all for attending this koha-US general meeting, and we'll see you at future meetings soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, have a wonderful day.
Mhm.